Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrian Bergen. If you are watching on YouTube, yep, I got my Texas hat on. Why? Well, very interesting. We are going on a cruise, but not the one you think about. We are going on the Texas Country Music Cruise. Wow. This is something I want to introduce you to because it's very exciting and it's particularly important for those of you who say to me, I've been everywhere, man. Where am I going next? Well, this is where you're going next. So let's start with Cynthia Sayko. Now, she was inspired to start and found the Texas Country Music Cruise. I'm going to find out why. And then we're going to speak with the director of the cruise, Eric Lennington, who's going to give you the deeper dive. What is this cruise all about? What could you expect when you go? So, Cynthia, inspire us with your inspiration. You started this whole thing.
I started this whole thing. I was on a cruise and I was with a small group of people, and I noticed a very large group of people there doing a type of a music event. And it made me think, we have a dock here, a port here in Texas, in Galveston. We have Texas music artists. We can bring a very unique way to experience a music festival. And we have all the components right here to do it out of Texas with Texas artists, with Royal Caribbean, who I think is the best cruise line in the world. And yeah, that was the inspiration. I got home from that cruise and I immediately went to work.
Well, I have to tell you first, I congratulate you because you have won an award from Royal Caribbean as one of their top agents, people, because you love cruising. But I also have to tell you, I just got off a short 4-day cruise, Royal Caribbean, with my whole family. And it really is, and I'm going to bring this up as a personal note, it's a terrific intergenerational cruise line. So if you're going to go on this trip, you can go intergenerationally. Now, we have in Palm Springs a very important event, which is called Stagecoach. And that is the country music event, I think, on land. But yours is the country music event on the ocean. So let's talk to Eric now. And he's the director, Eric Lennington, of the Texas Country Music Cruise, with all the answers. So question number one, what times of year do you go? Now you're already on the ship. I don't know, where are you?
Hi, everybody. Eric Lennington, music director of the Texas Country Music Cruise. I am in Costa Maya, Mexico right now. I'm standing on the Harmony of the Seas, which is the ship that we will be taking November 2nd until November 9th, leaving from Galveston with, I think, 7 different bands, several other different artists, and we have a whole smorgasbord of entertainment procured for you, country music lovers, particularly Texas country music lovers. Our cruise is, the musicians that we get are from the Texas country scene, which is different than the national scene. In Texas, we have our own regional musicians that like to play the dance halls, they play Billy Bob's, they play the country fairs, and they're intertwined in Texas culture and kind of speak for it. And so I come from that. I was a musician in that circuit for many years and got to know all the musicians. And so as my career progressed, I got a chance to do some cruising. And I thought, boy, it would be great if I could bring some friends along. And I met Cynthia, and she was just starting this thing out, and I got to help with her. And we've gotten to bring, over the years now, a small army of, fantastic musicians and just give them a fabulous time on the water. And of course, all of the audience members get to spend a week on the boat with the musicians, with them performing. You get to see them around the boat. This past time, we were able to, they gave us a whole side of the main dining hall just for us. So I put all the musicians in the center and then all of the audience members around the side.
Right.
And so at every meal, we got to hang out with each other and go over and talk at the different tables and shake hands and really get to know each other. And it's just been a wonderful situation.
I'm imagining that a lot of the people that go on these cruise are themselves musicians or music lovers or play some instrument. What about that?
Sure.
Have you encountered that? Are people bringing their own instruments on?
Yeah, there's a fair amount of that. I mean, they get a little nervous around playing in front of their heroes, but there's typically jams that break out around the ship where people would just sit down in the solarium, for late night and pass the guitar around, maybe write something together. And that's something that we try to foster, as much as we can.
Well,
And
this
I'm
is
super happy for this year because this is the second time that we're going to be having Gary P. Nunn be the headliner for our cruise. He will be celebrating his 80th birthday a month after our cruise, and he is one of the godfathers of the progressive country music that came out around Austin and Jerry Jeff Walker and all those guys, Willie Nelson in the '70s, and he's part of that stalwart. And we're just tickled to have him as the headliner. Last time around, we put him into the giant Royal Theater, which I want to give him the fanciest place we could, and he's like, "I want to play the dance." So this time we have them in the Studio B, which is an ice skating rink in the bottom of the ship. They cover the ice, put up the stage. There's seating all the way around in a horseshoe shape. And so if you'd like to do some two-stepping, you can. There's plenty of seating for you to check out the show. And that's what he wanted to do this time. So he's going to be actually kicking it off in Studio B on the first full day of sailing in November.
Well, this is terrific. It sounds to me like friends meeting friends. And if you're not a friend yet, you become a friend when you go on this particular cruise. Now, I also want to say that the skating rink, for those who don't know the way Royal Caribbean ships are arranged, it's very all-purpose. There is ice skating any time of year, even if you're in Mexico. But then they do use it for other things, laser tag, musical events like this. So it's a wonderful spot, and it's something I haven't seen in other cruise lines. It's really a terrific thing. So let's go back to you, Cynthia. With regard to the rest of the cruise, I'm assuming that the meals are the usual wonderful Royal Caribbean type of meals. You've got the same amenities that you always have, cabin choices, nothing different on this cruise. Or am I wrong about that? Is there something unique that we ought to know about the rest of the experience?
Sure. I think the great thing about it is you get all the typical wonderful things that Royal Caribbean offers. You get the comedians, you get the Royal Theater shows, you get the Broadway performances, you get the Aqua Theater the water diving shows. It's just really all the wonderful entertainment that Royal Caribbean has. And then we just add to that with our wonderful Texas music artists that come along with us. But yes, you're correct about all the fantastic dining that's available. It's everything that you would expect with a Royal Caribbean cruise, but with a really unique experience with the Texas music artists that we provide.
How do we find out about this, Cynthia? Give us the URL, give us all that information.
Yeah, it's super simple. It's just texascountrymusiccruise.com. And there's a booking form right there. And you can just fill it out, takes a minute or two, comes directly to me via email. I personally book every single person. I work with every single person directly that comes on our sailing, and I'm there to host it every year. So it's a great experience. And you're right about people come on board and they meet 500, 600, 700, 800 of their new best friends. And it tends to be like a family reunion every year where a lot of people come back. And then a lot of times we have new people too that are just going to experience it the first time. So it's a great way to just meet new friends every year. But yeah, texascountrymusiccruise.com. There's a booking form. If you want to talk to me directly, my phone number is right there.
So thank you and happy cruising, guys.
Thank you, Adrienne.
And to everybody else, never stop traveling.